Darren Lehmann will continue in his role as head coach of the Australia team after a Cricket Australia investigation found that he had no prior knowledge of the plan to ball tamper during the third test against South Africa. CA Chief Executive James Sutherland said that knowledge of Cameron Bancroft's attempt to manipulate the ball with sticky tape against South Africa in Cape Town was limited to 3 players: opener Bancroft, Captain Steve Smith and Vice-Captain David Warner. Here Sportsmail brings you a full transcript from the press conference. James Sutherland: I want to apologize, particularly to all the kids who love cricket and idolize the players. I also want to apologize to Cricket South Africa and South Africa fans that this issue has overshadowed what otherwise should have been a wonderful series. As the President said in his statement earlier tonight, this goes beyond the technical nature of offences and various codes of conduct. It's about the integrity and reputation of Australian cricket and Australia sport. Ultimately it's about whether Australians can feel proud of their national sporting teams, and that depends as much on the way players conduct themselves as it does on winning or losing. It's all about how we play the game. Earlier today I received an update about the investigation being conducted by the head of integrity, Ian Roy. In conducting his interviews, Ian was also accompanied by 2 ICC integrity officers. Whilst that investigation is not yet fully complete, preliminary findings have been considered and discussed earlier today. The key finding is that prior knowledge of the ball tampering incident was limited to 3 players: Steve Smith, David Warner, and Cameron Bancroft. No other players or support staff had prior knowledge, and this includes Darren Lehmann, who despite reports has not resigned from his position and will continue to coach the Australia men's team under his current contract. The players involved have officially been reported for breaching Australia Cricket's code of conduct. The substance of the offence can be covered by the terms, conduct at any time that is contrary to the spirit of the game, unbecoming of a representative, harmful to the interest of the game, or brings the game into disrepute. Once the investigation has concluded in the next 24 hours, sanctions will be announced and we'll go through the Cricket of Australia conduct process. All 3 players who have been reported will leave South Africa tomorrow. Their replacements in the Australian squad for the 4th test will be Matthew Renshaw, Glenn Maxwell, and Joe Burns. Replacement players will arrive in South Africa over the next 24 hours. Tim Payne has been appointed captain of the Australia men test team. Back to the reporting. In regard to the 3 players on report, I want to stress we are contemplating significant sanctions in each case. They will reflect the gravity with which we view has occurred and the damage it has done to Australian cricket. I fully understand the appetite for urgency for more detail, however urgency must be balanced with due process given the serious implications for all involved. In addition to sanctions for individuals, Cricket Australia will take the opportunity to review the conduct and culture of our professional teams, and naturally this will involve consultation with relevant experts. We will have more to say about how this will proceed in coming weeks. A clear focus will be on re-engaging with Australian cricket fans and the Australian public to rebuild respect and pride. I also wanted to place on record my support for the sentiments that ICC CEO David Richardson has expressed about the need to raise standards generally. I agree completely that the ICC and member countries, member boards, including Cricket Australia, need to define more clearly what is expected of players and enforce the standards in a consistent fashion. I agree that all member countries including Cricket Australia need to show more accountability for their team's conduct. Winning is important, but not at the expense of the laws or the spirit of the game. In conclusion, I understand and share the anger and disappointment with the Australia cricket family about these events. This is a serious issue and it needs to be dealt with properly and with due diligence. But now, as a matter of urgency, we will complete the process and by tomorrow morning we will be in a position to announce sanctions. Sutherland: I don't want to go into the specifics of sanctions, it's not appropriate at this stage. The big picture is that 3 players have been reported and we will deal with finalizing the report and sanctions later. Sutherland: Again, there are issues that I can't go into because we are in the midst of process. I expect that some of that will come out in due course, but it's not appropriate because of the technical nature of things, the process that we're working through, for me to divulge details of the investigation. Sutherland: I think this is a reminder to us of the importance of how Australian cricket fans want their players to behave. They want to be proud of their players, and clearly a situation like this is extraordinarily bad for Australian cricket, and I share, as I said earlier, on the anger and disappointment of Australian cricket fans with regards to this behaviour. Sutherland: I haven't gone into any detail, to be honest, with coach Darren Lehmann. I've arrived into South Africa early this morning. Ian Roy hasn't even been in the country for 24 hours and has worked very hard on that. First things first, we will try to deal with reporting issues and then we will deal with sanctions. We understand the urgency the need for all of you and others to know where we're up to. That's the real focus right now. Later on we will work through process around that review that we mentioned earlier. Reporter, there's one word you haven't mentioned. Did they cheat in your eyes? Is this cheating? Sutherland, this is not in the laws of the game, this is not in the spirit of the game. I am angry and I am disappointed. Reporter, is it cheating? Sutherland, this is not a good day for Australian cricket. Sutherland, it's difficult for me to say. I haven't spoken to everyone in the team, I've spoken to a limited few. But I can only imagine, but I think it's better that you ask them. Reporter, James, is this an isolated incident or has it happened previously? Sutherland, look, I think the feeling from Ian and his review are that it's an isolated incident. Again, there are things I don't want to go in too much detail around, but I certainly hope it's an isolated incident, but it's one of significant concern. Sutherland, look, at the end of the day we want Australia cricket fans to be proud of the cricket team. We are all responsible in that regard and we will take the necessary steps to ensure that.